Oh, it was a beautiful fall day here in Rochester as temperatures soared into the mid-70s. Not exactly hockey weather, but we'll certainly take it with darkness setting in. These fans are moving inside as many have returned home for Brick City weekend and the start of another season of RIT hockey. The biggest crowd of the season is expected here once again this year as the Tigers have made the short trek from their Henrietta campus to their home away from home, the Blue Cross Arena in downtown Rochester. It's RIT out of Atlantic Hockey and Northeastern out of Hockey East here tonight. The Tigers and Huskies warming up for what will be the very first meeting between these two schools when the puck drops at 7:05. You are watching RIT SportsZone Pregame Live, presented by Taylor the Builders. And over the next half hour, we'll be joined live by RIT head coach Wayne Wilson. We'll catch up with Northeastern coach Jim Madigan. Plus, John and Jean will join me to share their thoughts on the matchup for what has become one of the marquee events on the schedule each season. Good evening, I'm Kevin Roach, and welcome to RIT SportsZone Pregame Live as we begin our 10th season as your home for Tiger hockey. Well, after back-to-back thrilling seasons that saw the Tigers win the conference title twice and make consecutive trips to the NCAA tournament, last season proved to be a rude awakening for this program and the fan base. But as disappointing as it was, this year's team thinks that maybe it was all just a blessing in disguise.
It was supposed to be another coronation, a three-peat as champions of Atlantic hockey. But a season that began with such promise quickly unraveled for the Tigers.
A great play, a 2-on-1, 3-on-1 make it. Can Niagara steal this? Redeker scores! I don't believe it! 10 seconds remaining, a 3-on-1!
I think we underachieved. We just fell short to sum things up. Disappointing running the playoffs, losing to Niagara. Overall, yeah, I guess just disappointment was the one word I'd use to describe it.
And the 2016-2017 season comes to a bitter end for the RIT Tigers.
We're not used to being out this early in a playoff series. We know where we want to go. So, like we always mention it, like in the weight room or after practice when we break it down, that we don't want to feel like that again.
It wasn't what we wanted last year, and it was unacceptable for RIT hockey. We need to be better than that, and we should be better than that.
Injuries were a major factor, as RIT's top two defensemen were among those sidelined for most of the season.
I think that's one of the hardest things as an athlete. You know, you get injured or something like that happens, and you're watching your team kind of fight a few things, and you want to help in any way you can, and you kind of can't. So I think for anybody, it's hard to watch. In the back of your mind, you're kind of thinking about that coming into this year, and you got a point to prove.
I'd never had really a big injury like that before, so it was definitely different. And then definitely when the team's struggling and stuff like that, you want to do the best you can to help out. So it was definitely frustrating sitting on the sidelines anyway. But I mean, we're trying to push that in the past now and just get ready to go.
19 players returned from a year ago, believing they're now more equipped to handle whatever adversity may arise.
After winning a championship your freshman year, you kind of think that maybe it's attainable every year, and I'm sure it is attainable every year, but you don't get those opportunities every year. And I think last year was a lesson that needed to be learned, and so maybe last year was a good thing.
I think it's a huge motivation. I think we came into this year kind of with a little chip on our shoulder. You know, we want to get out there and really, play and show this league and hopefully this country that we can really play.
Chase Norris, the one-timer opposite side, and goal!
And what better way to prove that than in front of a packed house against a team from one of college hockey's premier leagues?
It's the best way to start off a year. Everyone's going to be ready to go, and everyone's going to be having that adrenaline rush, having all the fans out there. When you're skating out there, and all you see is orange. It's going to be an amazing game with a good team too. A really, really good team. So it's going to be a nice test for us.
Yeah, Northeastern will provide a big test for the Tigers here tonight. More on that in a moment. First, let's take a look at the preseason conference picks in Atlantic hockey. The defending tournament champions from Air Force are picked to finish first. The runner-up the last two seasons, Robert Morris, picked second, while RIT is fourth behind Army. Ironically, the Tigers have had more success when they've not been picked to win the league. 3 out of the 4 regular season titles they've won, they were not the favorite going into the season. The Tigers begin conference play in 2 weeks at Army, but tonight Oh, they got their hands full with the 14th ranked Northeastern Huskies. Joined now by John DeTulio, who's standing by live with head coach Wayne Wilson, who begins his 19th season with the Tigers here tonight. Good evening, John.
All right, Kevin, thank you so much. Here with Wayne Wilson. Wayne, the atmosphere, Northeastern, doesn't get any better than this, does it, for you?
It's great. It's great for our program. We're excited. It's great for the community, alumni. We're ready to go tonight.
Well, you're ready to go. You're going to go with a freshman goalie. Talk about what went into starting Logan tonight.
It's probably a pressure cooker for him, but we want to see how he reacts. It's a part of the evaluation process for him. We're really happy with the training camp. It's been a tough decision, though. Christian has been outstanding as well, but we've decided to go with Logan, and we'll see what he can do tonight.
Northeastern, big-time program, big-time scorers. You're going with an extra defenseman. Is that to try to slow down what Northeastern likes to do?
Well, we think we've got a lot of depth on defense. In particular, Dan Willett's done some power play time for us as well, so we just want to give that a go as well. We're sitting out another freshman for that, so we just thought this was something that we wanted to try, particularly early in the year, and see what it looks like dressing 7D and 11 forward, so we'll see how it goes.
I know last season didn't end the way you wanted to. What do you want to see from your team tonight?
I want us to compete and be hungry, and we got to stay healthy. I mean, we liked our team last year. It's certainly not the way we wanted it to finish, but that's the reality of it all. We've got to respond. It's a new year. We're excited to play, and what better opportunity to play downtown for your first NCAA game.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Wayne, good luck tonight. We'll talk to you soon. That's head coach Wayne Wilson, RIT Tigers. Kevin, back to you.
All right, John, we'll check back with you later in the broadcast. Well, Hockey East is arguably the top conference in college hockey, top to bottom, year in and year out. Northeastern, like many schools in their league, has a roster filled with NHL caliber talent. In fact, the Huskies have 7 draft picks on the ice this season. They also have 3 guys whose dads have played or coached in the NHL. Freshman forward Eetu Solani is the son of Timu, who played in the league and won a Stanley Cup with Anaheim. Senior Nolan Stevens' dad, John, has won 2 cups as coach of the LA Kings. And the starter in the net for Northeastern tonight, a freshman goaltender, Caden Primo. He's the son of Keith Primo, who had a 16-year NHL career. Well, tonight is RIT's first game of the season. Northeastern, they already played twice. The Huskies hosted Sacred Heart for a pair of games last weekend, and they simply dominated the Pioneers, outscoring them 14-3 in 2 games. The Huskies are deep and can have success no matter what line takes the ice. Last week, 14 different skaters recorded at least 1 point.
Our third and fourth lines are 6 forwards who can go out there and play against any of the other team's top lines. So they're going to get some matchups. I think they're going to be sometimes favorable for them that they can take advantage of. And, our top 6 are a veteran core that, they know how to play this game, and when they get opportunities, they know what to do with them.
You guys have had those experiences of playing in the Bean Pot at the Boston Garden and those venues that you mentioned. How will they handle a real true road game? Do you know how they will handle that here tonight?
Yeah, no, I'm confident with that. Again, because we've got some veteran key guys, in key positions who have won a championship and who have been in hostile environments. This will be a little bit different, and we've talked about, if you want to be a quality team, then quality teams have to win in hostile environments against quality opponents, and that's what the challenge brings us tonight.
Yeah, it has been a struggle for the Tigers in non-conference play throughout the Division I era, and that includes games against Hockey East. RIT dropped 2 to Providence at the Policini Center last season, and they tied UConn in this building last October for Brick City. Overall, 1-8-2 for RIT all-time against Hockey East, with the lone victory coming in the East Regional Final in 2010. That win over New Hampshire sent the Tigers to the Frozen Four in Detroit. Well, still to come on the program, it's Hall of Fame weekend 2 here at RIT. We'll be joined live by one of the all-time great women's hockey players who will add her name to that prestigious club. Plus, you're looking live at tonight's starter in the net for the Tigers. Freshman Logan Drackett is getting the call, number 30. He's your guy tonight over junior Christian Short. We'll hear from Short, though, next. This is RIT SportsZone Pregame Live. A sea of orange has come home for Brick City homecoming and family weekend at the Blue Cross Arena for RIT and Northeastern as we welcome you back to RIT SportsZone Pregame Live. This Brick City game provides a tremendous atmosphere every year. We've talked about it already. However, the Tigers haven't had a whole lot of success in this particular game. After a pair of ties the last 2 years, you have to go back to the 2011 season to find the last time RIT won on Brick City homecoming. That night, they stormed back for a late goal in regulation and scored seconds into overtime to beat St. Lawrence. They also beat Cornell back in 2007. Overall, though, they're 2-5-3 in Brick City contest. Well, freshman Logan Drackett, as we mentioned earlier in the broadcast, will get the start in the net for the Tigers tonight, hoping to lead the RIT Tigers to their first homecoming victory in 6 years. Starting Drackett on the biggest stage of the regular season says a lot about what Coach Wilson and his staff think of their rookie netminder. For junior Christian Short, it's undoubtedly a disappointment. He starts this year just like last season, watching and waiting.
Pass down low. Oh, what a save by Rotolo!
Mike Rotolo started 35 of RIT's 37 games last season, forcing Christian Short to watch and wait.
It's definitely frustrating going from freshman year and feeling good about my game, and going to last year I felt pretty good going in, and I was obviously disappointed. There's no doubt about that.
I think he was assuming that he was going to share and right off the get-go but every day you've got to prove yourself, and I think then he got a little down on himself, and it didn't help his cause, and I think you've got to be ready to compete all the time for the net, whether you're in the net a lot or whether you're not.
In the offseason, Short focused on his game and his composure when he's in the net.
I don't get too high or too low, and that comes from, I would say, experience of last year, just kind of mellowing out, I would say.
You said mellowing out. Were you too high strung?
I wouldn't say I was too high strung, but no, I would admit that I got a little too emotional or too kind of down on myself, and but no, now I would say I think I'm in a great place to really peak this year.
Fires, and the save is made by Christian Short.
How helpful was Mike, with what you were going through and he was seeing all the time? Did he help you out a lot, pick you up a little bit?
Mike was probably one of my best friends, and or is my best friend. And from the start, we just kind of really gelled. And even though he was playing, he said, keep working hard. And he just really, he really did help me a lot. So, I really appreciate all that Mike did for me over the last 2 years.
Short continues to lean on Rotolo for advice. The two talk and even FaceTime regularly.
Do you feel like you have something to prove to yourself, to your coaches, to your teammates this year?
I would say I definitely have something to prove. I think I have something to prove to myself and to the coaching staff that I'm the guy that they recruited, and I know I can play at the top of my game this year and even next year. But I would say this year is definitely a proving point for me, and I'm definitely ready to take this team to a championship.
For him to be successful, we talked about competing. I think that's probably the biggest thing for him, because he's got the size and ability and athleticism, and he fills the net. I think with that, then he's really got to compete. So second effort, third effort on loose pucks. And then the other piece would be positional, he wants to be out aggressive and using his size to advantage, but you don't want to get too far out of your net where all of a sudden you lose your net, and when there's rebounds or things that are going to happen, that there's open nets.
While a newcomer gets the start here tonight, Short says he'll embrace the challenge and keep working to earn his opportunity.
Pushing everybody. They're pushing me in and pushing themselves, and I would say it's great, healthy competition, and it can only make us better from here.
Yeah, certainly a disappointment tonight for Short not getting the start, but he will have opportunities to play throughout the year. We've seen Wayne Wilson rotate goalies before, but like Wayne says, he'll need to earn his time in the net. Joined now by Gene Battaglia and John DiTullio, and goaltending was the biggest question mark coming into the season, guys, and it's certainly going to be a factor in how far this Tiger team can go this year. Good evening.
Hey, good evening, Kevin. Good evening, Tiger fans. Good evening, John. Welcome to another season.
10 seasons, buddy. Welcome back.
New goalie tonight. Are we to read anything into this, John?
I talked with Wayne this week. He didn't know who was going to start. I thought he was being coy, but he feels he has 3 good goalies. He loves the 2 rookies that he has. But he said this, last year we had 89.1 save percentage. That's not good enough for us to win and where we need to go. we need at least 92%. That's what he's looking for from his goaltenders this year.
Well, the freshman Logan Drackett, you're throwing him to the Wolves tonight. 7 NHL draft picks on this Northeastern team.
But what Wayne said about Logan this week, he said, you know what, he's very calm. He handles the puck extremely well, and he's confident when he has to leave the crease. But, boy, that's a tough first game. You're going against, as you just mentioned, 7 draft picks, one of the best scoring teams in the country. He's going to get baptized tonight, that's for sure.
On the current list of NCAA active point leaders, number 3 is Dylan Sakura. Dylan Sakura, our player to watch here for the Huskies tonight.
Incredible player, draft pick of the Blackhawks, playmaker, 97 career points, can do it all. Talking with the staff just moments ago, RIT, they said, this kid can play, this kid can play. They're just loaded with great offensive talent, and even their defensemen are offensive-minded. This team loves to push the puck. They're extremely fast. Can RIT slow them down? That's the key, but it starts with trying to slow down number 9 first.
Last year, such a disappointment for the RIT Tigers, but so many injuries and players that were playing hurt as well, including Miles Powell. Miles Powell is healthy, John. The Tigers are going to lean on him.
He's the key. Wayne was very pleased. He played hurt a lot last year, but played very, very well. Now that he's healthy and the Norris twins are healthy, that's why expectations are high. RIT returns their top 6 scorers, 10 of their top 11 scorers from a year ago. So they're very excited to have Miles Powell healthy, and they're anxious to see what they can do. They're more determined and more focused. As you mentioned, they didn't like losing to Niagara last year in the conference tournament.
Well, taking on a team that's nationally ranked, as we take a look at the keys tonight for the RIT Tigers, just get through the first period, and then get through the second period.
I think their goalie. I think it's key. Drackett weathers the first 20 minutes, and in the process, the goalie job's up for grabs. Wayne said he's going to, he'll play all 3 of them here in the first couple of weeks and then try to weed it down to 2 and eventually pick one. I was down moments ago for pregame. You could feel the electricity, and the building's about half full. Wait till this thing is at full capacity. The crowd will be a factor tonight in aiding the Tigers. That's a fact.
Now, last 2 games downtown, the Tigers have tied here, including a game against the Hockey East team last year, UConn. So certainly RIT gets up for these games, John.
They do, and it's a great test. It's a great litmus test. You're playing a team that's ranked, that went to the tournament 2 years ago. It's nice to see where you are early in the season, that's for sure.
Kevin, this is the way to start off the season here tonight. Brick City weekend. We're looking forward to the call tonight.
Absolutely. We're looking forward to it, guys. We'll see you at the top of the hour. Well, still to come on the show, the RIT women's hockey team was on home ice. We'll show you how they fared against RPI, and we'll be joined by one of the newest members of the RIT Sports Hall of Fame. That's all next. This is RIT SportsZone Pregame Live. Back with you live from downtown Rochester, New York, the Blue Cross Arena, the site of tonight's season opener for RIT hockey as the Tigers host Northeastern. The puck's set to drop at 7:05. Well, the RIT women's hockey team is coming off a couple of rough seasons that saw head coach Scott McDonald's team win just 15 of the 72 games they played. But last weekend, the Tigers opened the year on a positive with a win and a tie over Holy Cross. The home opener for the RIT women's hockey team last night at the Policini Center against RPI. Midway through the first period, the Tigers with traffic in front, and Kendall Cornine puts her goal in there, her first of the year, for a 1-0 lead, but it was short-lived. Just over a minute later, off the face-off, McKenna Thomas ties the game at 1 for RPI. Then late in the period, Engineers on the power play, tic-tac-toe, great puck movement here. Shayna Tomlinson gets the goal. RPI beat RIT last night 3-1, and the Engineers completed the sweep today with a victory this afternoon at the Policini Center, a 4-1 win. Kendall Cornine scored the lone goal for the RIT Tigers. Once again, the Tigers are on home ice next Friday and Saturday against Yale. Joining me now is former RIT women's hockey standout and 2017 RIT Sports Hall of Famer, Sarah Dag-Lynch. Congratulations, first of all. Welcome home.
Thank you.
When you got the call that you were going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, what did that mean to you? What did you think?
A lot. RIT has been kind of like a second home for me. The 4 years really meant a lot. I spent a lot of time growing as a person, and I met my husband here.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of positive notes here at RIT, and it's great to be back.
Yeah, your husband, Ben Lynch, of course, played for the men's team here at RIT. Well, you certainly left your mark on the program. The all-time leading scorer, Division III National Player of the Year when you played here. Also helped the team win a few games, 85 to be exact, during your 4 years. Do you look back now and do you have a greater appreciation for what you accomplished?
Absolutely, and I mean, I'm getting a great accolade this weekend, but I mean, we had a ton of great players on our team. We had a full team, a full roster of great players, and I mean, these alumni weekends mean so much to be back. You get to hang out with all the players, and it's great. Everyone's from everywhere. We have players from Colorado, BC, players from Canada, everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So it's great to come back here and all meet in one place for a weekend and have some fun.
I hate to bring up a sore subject, but your final game as a Tiger, national championship game, the Tigers came up short that day. Is that the one thing that maybe sticks with you out of all of your career?
You know what? It sucks to lose. It
Yeah.
really does. But at the same time, we had so many games where clinchers where we won in the last couple minutes, and games against Plattsburgh, and those are the games I remember. And as much as you remember the wins and the losses, you really remember the times you had with the people, with the coaches, and things
Yeah.
like that. So it's been. I remember the loss, but at the same time, I wish we would have won, but it's been great otherwise.
Yeah, tremendous career for Sarah Degg Lynch at RIT. Let's take a look at the others that will be joining her. RIT greats. Tomorrow's induction ceremony as the class of 2017 is honored at the Policini Center. Baseball's Jeff Dornis completed his college career as RIT's all-time leader in runs scored and walks, and will be inducted along with basketball standout Mark Carson. 8 individuals will be inducted, as well as the 1954-55 women's fencing team. It should be a great afternoon at the Policini Center. Once again, Sarah, thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations and welcome home.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Sarah Degg Lynch joining us here on Pregame Live. Well, RIT and Northeastern are about to take the ice. We're closing in on game time. We'll send it back upstairs to John and Jean next. This is RIT Sports Zone Pregame Live. Oh, it's great to be here at the Blue Cross Arena, but it'd be nice to be home. The Tigers return to the Gene Policini Center next weekend for a pair of games against Union and RPI from the ECAC. Our coverage begins on Friday and Saturday night with RIT Sports Zone Pregame Live at 6:30, followed by Face-Off at 7:05 right here on RITSZ.com. Well, the Tigers will play 17 games at the Policini Center this season, and you still have time to be a part of the action. Season tickets and individual game tickets, they still remain on sale. You can purchase tickets to RIT men's and women's hockey by visiting the Policini Center box office Monday through Friday from 10 to 6 by calling 475-412 or online at RITtickets.com. Well, the wait is almost over. A new season is upon us. Logan Drackett, the freshman for the RIT Tigers, getting the start in net tonight against another freshman, Caden Primo, the son of Keith Primo, who played in the NHL. It should be interesting, should be a great game. That's going to do it for this edition of RIT Sports Zone Pregame Live. We thank you so much for watching. Up next, John and Jean join us with the call as RIT opens the season against Northeastern. Enjoy the game, everyone. RIT Sports Zone Live begins right now.